the way you do it. And it had to be the church back home where everybody knew me. And I said, Lord, I can't do that. They all know me. And that's not good. But that's what we did. And pastored there for 9 years. And church grew, built a new church plant, and stayed there 9 years, and then the church in Falls Valley was without pastor. And one of the older pastors was pastoring at Bristol, Art Hanson, and he had pastored down there. And he said, that church needs a pastor bad. Said, would you go down there and preach for him? I said, no, I guess I could, but said, I'm staying here, everything is going good, and we're growing, and don't have no problems. And so I agreed to go down there. I did. And I kind of felt in my heart that's what God wanted me to do, but I didn't want to do it. And so before that morning service, I said, now Lord, if this is really what you got in mind, why, you let there be a good altar service this morning. Okay. And gave the invitation, and about 20 people come to the altar. And I got upset. And quick as I ate dinner, I come back to church, and I prayed, and I prayed. And I said, now Lord, maybe that's the way they do all the time. And I said, now, if this is really what you got in mind, I want you to do that again tonight. I'm playing the odds now, you know, because you don't have a big crowd and everything. And lo and behold, I bet 2/3 of the church come to the altar that night, and somebody got saved. A guy got saved. And I was upset. Got in the car to drive back 120 miles back home. And my faithful companion, she was my best critic, and was driving along, and she said, Dad, said, you didn't preach half your weight today. I wouldn't even answer. And she said, when it come to giving an invitation, says, you can give a better invitation accidentally than what you did down there. I didn't talk to her the rest of the way home. But they just kept on, and they would call, and I'd kind of ignore them, you know, and I just wasn't going to go. And finally I said, well, Lord, I guess I need to get honest about this, and at least pray about it. And so I said, I'm not going to have nothing to do with them people no more. I'm not going to call them, nothing. And if this is what you want me to do, you have them call me. Wednesday night, come in from prayer meeting, come in the door, and the telephone was ringing. It was them people that called around. They said, we took a vote tonight, and we voted to call you as our pastor. And said, we have covenanted that we're not going to leave here tonight until we get an answer from you. Well, I said, I guess I'll be there. You know. But stayed there almost 15 years. And pastored some of the same people that come to be in the Moore Church. Buzz and Sally and the Driscolls, and I named them off to Carol, about 5 families that was in the Falls Valley Church come to be a part of this church up there. And then the same thing happened about coming to Moore. I didn't want to come here because I thought that a country boy couldn't handle it in a metropolitan area, you know. And so Dave had resigned, and So I said, well, I'll come up and preach for you one Sunday, you know. But I said, yeah, well, I'll go back home. No. And anyhow, the church had a little difficulties, and they was kind of hurting because of what had happened. And I sat there on the platform that Sunday morning, and they just looked down, you know, the people that they was hurting. And they didn't need help. Brother Atwell was doing an intern for them. And anyhow, all of a sudden, during the song service, the Lord began to bless me. And the little tears just started rolling down, you know. And it just kept getting better. And the tears kept getting more, you know. And finally I said, Lord, if you don't stop blessing, I'll be a blubbering idiot. I can't preach like that, you know. And I said, look out there, look at them people. I said, they need help. Bless them. And I said, Lord, I don't understand this. And that little voice comes to me and said, son, you're home now. I said, no, I'm not home. Home, Paul's Valley. And right after church, I'm going back, you know. But it worked the same way again, you know, and they call them, I came more in 79 and stayed till 92, I guess, 13 years. When my health began to go south on me, and she'd tell me, said, Dad, for you're aging 5 years, forever one now. Said, how long can you keep doing this? And I said, give me one more year. So for one more year, and the church was doing good, and we was running over 200, and didn't have any problems. And it built the gym building to give us added space we needed, you know, and everything was just doing good. And so the end of that year, why, she told me the same thing again. And I said, well, give me one more year. And the end of that, the third year come around, and she said, how long do you honestly think you can keep going? What good could you be to somebody if you was dead? But if you was going into some other kind of ministry, intern pastor and things like that, you could do that. But you can't do this. And so I agreed and retired and resigned on the same day that I started